Okay, good evening. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight here at the Orange County Clerk of Courts. This is our Legal Matters Legal Forum, and this evening's topic is on our Self-Help Center. And this is a special time actually for our Self-Help Center because it is actually the anniversary of the grand opening this month. I'm Dane Weister, and I'm the Communications Director here at the Orange County Clerk of Courts. Tonight, we hope that you're going to find the information provided through our webinar here in Legal Forum very useful. We'll take questions. So if you have questions, you'll be able to submit those to us. Just look for that box at the bottom of your screen on the Zoom feed there, and you can enter your questions in through the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. And we'll also have a survey for you to fill out at the end of this webinar. So please don't forget to take that so we can get some feedback from the webinar and from our legal forum here tonight. We use that for other forums that we hold in the future. So this webinar is being recorded and it's being streamed right now on Facebook Live as well, the Orange County Clerk of Courts Facebook Live page. And it will be posted on our social media channels after this broadcast. So now I want to introduce you to the person behind the opening of our Self-Help Center, and that is your Orange County Clerk of Courts, Tiffany Moore Russell. Tiffany.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. This legal forum is in celebration of the 7-year anniversary of the grand opening of the Self-Help Center that I personally want to make sure would come to reality. Now, having been a lawyer myself and served as a lawyer for legal aid for years, I knew there was going to be a need to provide help and improve access to justice for people who will never be able to afford an attorney. Not long after my election to the office of the clerk's office in 2015, my vision was to be able to provide affordable attorney consultations and legal assistance. So with the help of the Orange County Bar Association, the Self-Help Center staff, we opened in September 2015, and I named it in honor of the late Clerk of Courts, Lydia Gardner, who passed away while serving in office. This was very important to me because I like to describe myself not as a politician or as an elected official, but as a public servant. So I'm always looking for ways to make a difference to help serve the citizens of Orange County. The center is the first of its kind here in Orange County, and the services provided are not based on income. And we appreciate the support of the Orange County Bar Association for helping provide attorneys to serve at the center. The Self-Help Center also provides at a low cost the correct forms and instructions needed for people to file a case on their own. So we hope that you find this legal forum valuable and that you will take advantage of the Self-Help Center when needed. One of my office's strategic outreach goals is access to justice. And these free forums called Legal Matters were created as a service for the public to make legal information easier to understand and more accessible to the public. I would like to take the time to acknowledge all of our staff who helped put this on, as well as those panelists who volunteered to give their time today. And so here with us from my office, we have the Family Division Operations Assistant Manager, Ms. Vanya Atkinson. You can wave, Vanya. With an attorney's perspective, we have joining us Attorney Jessica Thomas. And from our judiciary, from the 9th Judicial Circuit, we have the Honorable Judge Heather Pender Rodriguez. So thank you all so much for giving up your time this evening to serve as panelists and to share very important information to the citizens of Orange County. Again, thank you all for joining us, and I will hand it back to you, Dane. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm off mute. Thank you very much, Clerk Russell. We appreciate that. And so we're going to go right into our presentations, and we will not delay and jump right in to share a lot more about the Self-Help Center with you this evening. So our first presentation, and first up is our own Clerk of Courts Family Division Operations Assistant Manager, Vanya Atkinson. She has all the details about the Self-Help Center process. Vanya, welcome, and the floor is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Dane, and thank you, Clerk Russell. Hi, everyone. As Dane says, I am one of the operations assistant managers for the Self-Help Center. I just want to take the opportunity now to explain just a little bit of what we do at the Self-Help Center. Our next slide has the different types of case types that we handle. We only handle civil and family cases. For civil cases, we only handle evictions and small claims. And as far as family cases, we do any kind of family case, excluding injunction cases, and that's held in room 320. But other than that, any other case types for family cases we handle in the self-help center. Like Clerk Russell says, we opened up this wonderful office in 2015, named in honor of our late Clerk Lydia Gardner. We do various functions and processes in this division. We offer legal assistance with, fees that are, can be paid accordingly, as far as how many minutes you want to get a virtual appointment with an attorney. The attorney consultations are virtual for right now. Our office is located on the 3rd floor on room 340, and we are open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. We do offer virtual attorney consultations. We do sell forms and packets, and we do assist in completing the different various forms and petitions and packets. We do also offer notary service and copy services. We do assist in landlord-tenant grievances, guidances. And we also have 3 computers in our office for your use. That's to assist you with, either getting copies to include in your package to provide for the judge. In regards to our virtual attorney consultations, the appointments are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, excluding on Thursdays. We don't have any appointments scheduled for Thursdays, but any other day is available. It goes into increments of 15 minutes, and it's very affordable. It's $1 a minute and can go up to 60 minutes for that day. You can do the scheduling of the appointment 2 different ways. You can do it online, and when you schedule it online, it's a $1.50 convenience fee when you use your credit card. But if for some reason you don't have a credit card or a computer, you can always come to our office in room 340 and schedule an appointment through us. But the only thing is we only accept cash payments for the attorney appointment. And then when you schedule your appointment, my office will send out an email to you the day before your appointment, just to give you the link for the Zoom so you're ready to go, and instructions on what to do after. Just a brief summary of what we sell. For civil cases, obviously there's different monetary amounts as far as how much the small claims will be, anywhere from $100 up to $8,000. All our packet fees for small claims are $2. And then the filing fees are, as you see on the screen, it is varied from the amount of the claim that you're trying to do. Now, the eviction as well is for $10 for the packet, and then also for the filing fee along with the summons fee. Now, keep in mind that, this is the current filing fee and the current packet fee. It's subject to change at any given time due to statutory or admin orders or whatever the case may be. So as of right now, this is the filing fees and packet fees for the civil case. Family cases as well. There's listed here the packet fees that we sell, and also the filing fees as well. Again, this is subject to change at any given time due to statutory provisions or administrative orders or whatever the case may be. But yeah, this is just the rates that we have as of right now. Just briefly, a lot of people come to our office or sends us email as far as what is the status of my case. Let me just take you through the day of you coming in. The process normally is when you come in to our office, you purchase a packet, whatever the case may be. You want to get a divorce, paternity case, whatever the case may be. You come in. You fill it out, you pay your filing fee, and once we assign it a case number, it's out of our hands. it goes on to now case management. Case management is the one that manages your case. So anytime you are needing questions asked for them, like what's the status of my case, when's my court date, we put a link here on the screen as well, and it's also listed on myorangeclock.com in our on the website under self-help. And these are just steps on how to get to the email, and you just there's like a comment box as far as what is the status of my case, and they will email you or call you as soon as they can. And I just, the myth of coming into the self-help center, we would love to help you and get you in and out as quick as we can. But unfortunately, the packets that, everyone purchases is very lengthy and very thick. And it's a lot of paperwork that's in there to be filled. I don't want the expectations of the customers coming in, handing in their paperwork, paying their fee and leaving. It doesn't work like that. My team has to go through each paperwork and thoroughly go through every single document that you hand in and make sure that everything is filled out accordingly. Because if it's not filled out accordingly, case management will kick it back. And then that will just make your case just a little bit delayed after the fact. So we encourage you to come in and either get the packet. You're more than welcome to stay in our self-help center lobby and fill it out, or you can take it home in the convenience of your home and take your time. This is not something to rush through and fill out, bogus or miscellaneous information on your documents. We want you to thoroughly go through the documents and put in the accurate information so we can process it and get your case rolling. My lobby does get very, very busy. We do encourage you to come before 3 o'clock. Our doors do close at 4 o'clock. I mean, we're not going to shoo you away after 3 o'clock, but you're going to be there because like I said before, it's a very lengthy process. We have to review it. So it might be a little time consuming, and you might be after, 4 o'clock when we close. So just allow your time and adequate time to come in, and we can spend a sufficient amount of time for you and assist you with your paperwork. And these are the ways to come see us. We are located in the courthouse, the main courthouse, in room 340. Like I said, we're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. That's our phone number to reach us. And you can definitely do your scheduling your virtual attorney appointment online. And that's all we have. And we're just here my team is here ready to serve you guys and assist you. I do want to make a last point is that keep in mind, my team are not attorneys. We cannot give legal advice to you. We can advise you and assist you, but we can't give you any kind of legal advice. That's what the, scheduling the virtual appointments are for, is to have the attorneys guide you in the right direction. And also with the attorneys, also keep in mind, they are not there to represent you in your case. They're just there to listen to you and to guide you in the right direction. I hope all this information helped you guys. If you guys have any questions, come see us, call us, email us.
Thank you very much, Vanya. Yeah,
Thank
actually,
you.
we're getting some questions in as we speak.
Okay.
So to clarify that, yes, the clerk's office cannot provide legal advice, as Vanya was saying, deputy clerks with the clerk's office, but those attorney consultations are there
Yes.
for you, and the attorneys that are there to provide legal information. So looking at our questions, one of the questions we received was, does the self-help center handle child support only applications? So child support is one of the case types, but it's child support only applications?
It's hard to say depending on the case. You know, Department of Revenue is the majority of the cases are handled through Department of Revenue. However, you have the pro se people that have their own cases themselves. We can assist with paperwork. I'm not sure what documents they're referring to, but usually when it's child support related, it's usually through, you know, a divorce case, paternity case, and then it goes through that. So it just depends on what, you know, documents or what kind of questions they're asking about.
Correct. And then the next question we had was, what about evictions? Evictions is a case type as well that we can help out with in the Self-Help Center, right?
Yes, we definitely do. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And yes, so the next question, we received about 5 questions. So I'm going to try to go through these because we want to be interactive as much as possible and share information. But we also received a question that, are we able to get this presentation sent to us, or can we look it up online? Yes, you'll be able to look it up online. It is going to be posted on our website, the Clerk of Courts website. Once we're done with this webinar, we get it uploaded, and that is myorangeclerk.com. It will also be on our social media pages. So take a look for that, but myorangeclerk.com is where you'll be able to view it very easily. Okay, next question we've received is someone recently submitted exhibits for a motion to dismiss. He is coming up. I want to add exhibits. Can I amend them and resend them to the judge's assistant? So this may be something that's more specific to our judge. I don't know if you can answer that, Vanya, or not. And the thing I do want to make sure that people understand before we take a lot more questions is we cannot provide specific information to a case. So we really can't answer specific case information during this forum tonight, but we're doing our best just to try to help you with as much information as possible. So Vanya, do you know if that is something?
I do know, yes, I do know that room 320 is where people can submit evidence to that office. It has to be a virtual hearing that's scheduled. Obviously, if it's in person, you just bring it with you for court. But if it's a virtual hearing, you can submit it. It has to be within 3 days or so. It can't be like 2 months from now. You can't submit it. But yeah, when we accept virtual, when it's a virtual hearing, they can submit the evidence through there.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to get back to some more of our questions later on, but we want to move forward with more of our presenters at this point in time. So before we get to our next presenter, we want to share with you a testimonial from one of the customers that has used the Self-Help Center. And so we want to hear from Sandra about her experience with the Self-Help Center. This is just about a 1-minute video, so check this out.
I was getting divorced, but at the same time, I have to put an injunction. But because the lack of knowledge, I didn't know like there were 2 different cases. I just feel like I was begging for help and I was not able to get it. How important was to have something like this, like at the help center. And then if I need like a specific form, they guide me and they tell me exactly where to go, where to find it. Here at the help center, they tell you, oh, you have to send a copy to them for you to be able to have a hearing without problem, to file papers like a motion, like to do the right way. You come over here because you have a need. Then you see these people that they really care. That means a lot. My name is Sandra, and that's my journey to justice.
Okay, so hopefully you can hear and see all of that. We did about 3 different videos with customers. It was a video series we did a couple years ago where we just wanted to get testimonials from customers that have had an experience with the self-help center. And now up next to talk with us and present is somebody who has worked with many customers, and she is one of the people at the self-help center. She's been there for, I think, from the beginning. And I want to introduce to you attorney Jessica Thomas, who's giving her time freely to be here with us. Jessica is with the Thomas Law Firm, a longtime supporter of the Self-Help Center. She has some great information to help you maximize your attorney consultation if you schedule one of those with the Self-Help Center. Take it away, Jessica.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen with you all. And I'm going to, let me know, Dan, can you see my screen okay? Dan, I can't hear you if you can.
Yeah, we can see it. There, yep, there you go. Presentation.
Perfect. All right. So as Dan mentioned, I have been volunteering and giving back with the Self-Help Center from the beginning. I've been practicing law for 11 years as of yesterday. And, you know, when people ask about the Self-Help Center, it's always such a bright spot in my practice because we all swore an oath as attorneys to really help and give back. And of course, like with any profession, you can ultimately kind of feel jaded. And the Self-Help Center consistently kind of reinvigorates me about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and why I practice law and why I've committed myself to this legal field. So first up, you see, it depends, every lawyer, every question, even just now, it's so hard as an attorney to just say like yes or no. And I know that that's hard for people, but it's because cases are unique. And so the answers to the questions that we receive completely vary on the facts of that case. So first and foremost, how can you prepare for your attorney consultation? If your case is filed in Orange County, I cannot implore you enough to go onto the Orange County Clerk of Court website. There will be a spot that says records. And then when you click on it, there will be this little section that says you can register. And you all, as party participants, can see your own case file. That's called the docket. I can't tell you how many times that I've done consultations, which again, Dan is correct. I don't think I could count them all. I really can't. At like maybe 20 a day, potentially, over several years, 7 years is a lot. And I volunteer quite a bit. So to that end, it's so good when you can see your whole case. I can't tell you how many times people just don't even know what was the last thing filed on their case. And you're paying $1 a minute. I don't want you to use your very precious time in your consultation for us to just be able to say, you know, what was the notice of hearing or what courtroom are you supposed to go to tomorrow? That's in the docket, and you can get a registration so that you can access those, and all of the forms will be hyperlinked for you. Next, create your list of questions for the attorney. People consistently will, you know, be very frazzled, and I understand. I really do. And it's because, you know, anytime we're dealing with something that's unfamiliar to us, our anxiety level goes up, right? So it's important that you try to maximize, again, your time with the attorney by writing down your questions. That'll help give you some cool and calm. I promise. Trust me through it. If your questions are based on a specific document, have it in front of you. Again, 15 minutes goes like water. 30 minutes goes like water. 45 minutes, an hour, they are gone. And so if you can go ahead and you want to ask me or any of the self-help attorneys, hey, look, I got this motion. I don't understand it. I got this order from the judge. I don't know what to do. I got a report and recommendation. Well, now order and report from the general magistrate. I don't know what to do. I need your help. We want to help you, and it's very beneficial if you have that document printed with you. Although our consultations are virtual, if you're looking at it, pretty much we've seen a good chunk of the forms. We pretty much can kind of ascertain what's in the contents of it if you just give us the gist. So I don't necessarily need a copy, but you do, so that you can follow along and take notes right on it. If you've purchased a packet, you heard our Self-Help Center manager speak about the packets. When you have the packet, already fill it out before your attorney consultation. I can't tell you how many times, I mean, it's a pretty considerable packet. She's not lying when she's telling you to be prepared for a lengthy process. You know, as much as we would all love, attorneys included, we would love things to be really expeditious and fast. It's just unfortunately not the nature of the judicial system, because we have so many people who need help. You know, in family law alone, our judges have thousands of cases. Each one has thousands of cases. It is a lot. And so it's imperative that you, again, maximize your time by trying to give yourself enough leeway, give yourself enough time and grace to be able to fill out these packets ahead of time. What I often tell people is fill them out in pencil. You can always go back. I also have clients that they'll, you guys will make a second copy. That's also a really good idea, because I see people get panicked. Oh no, I messed it up. It's okay. Go to the library, go to your Office Depot, your Office Max, make an extra copy so that if you make a mistake, you're okay. Fill it out in pen, highlight whatever it is that you have a question on, and then that way we can talk about it in your consultation. Okay. How to maximize your virtual consultation. You think that I am joking. I know you're going to say, Jessica, that's ridiculous. Have a pen and paper. I know that you think that that is a very sensible, very outward appearing logical thing to do. It is not. When you are nervous, we are talking about people's children, people's homes, people's property. They are scared. They are nervous. They are upset that they paid the painter and he didn't do a good job. They are terrified that they're going to be kicked out. They are worried about seeing their children. You are nervous. Have a pen and a paper so that as I'm telling you things, as the attorneys are talking to you, that you can take notes, that as a question pops in your mind, you can jot it down. It's imperative. Believe you me, it's imperative. Also, a lot of times people will have someone with them that is peachy keen. Doesn't bother me one bit. The biggest thing is decide who's going to ask the questions and who's going to take the notes. It's often in family law. We have, Mima or grandma with her son, or, new girlfriend with her girlfriend, whatever it is. And everybody, again, is so anxious. It's difficult to say, like, they may be talking over each other, like, Mom, let me ask the question. No, Grandma, let me ask the question. Decide ahead of time. Who's going to ask the questions? Who's going to take the notes so that, again, you can get the most from the very precious limited time that you have. Make sure you have good internet access. Please, goodness gracious. I can't tell you how many times you guys have seen those commercials now in this virtual world post-pandemic, and people are on the Zoom with me and we're trying, and I'm like, can you hear me? No, can you hear me? No, your camera's not on. Connect to audio. Connect to audio. Oh my gracious. I want you to be able to speak with the attorney, get that information that you need, get the answers that you absolutely deserve. Please, please, please make sure you are somewhere with good internet access and on a device that you can ensure that you can hear and see. Prioritize your questions over giving background and extensive history. Again, I've been practicing, like I mentioned, for 11 years in my private practice. Most of the attorneys, they make sure that we have considerable amounts of experience so that we can give you all adequate and appropriate advice. We have seen a good amount of different scenarios. So you don't necessarily have to use your precious time in that very limited consultation to say, well, let me tell you about why we broke up initially. Let me talk to you about how I even found this apartment before I got evicted. Let me give you the background about this neighbor and the 15 times that they took my lawnmower without asking. You don't have to do that. I want you all to focus on those questions because the time goes so fast. And I understand that people are coming to the self-help center because often they can't afford $300, $400, $500, some lawyers, $750 an hour. $1 a minute is incredible. What Clerk Russell has done is one of our constitutional principles of providing access to justice. access to the courts. And it's imperative that when you sit down for your attorney consultation, that you remember that the lawyer has a pretty good handle on those types of cases. Just get to asking them the questions and they'll ask the background questions that they need. We do not authorize the screen share from the clients. That comes up a lot now with virtual. People will say, oh, I have something up I want to show you. Oh, I have something up I want to show you. I can't see it. I can't see it. So I'm telling you all ahead of time so you know that I can't see it, okay? And then we're going to the next slide. What legal advice from the Self-Help Center looks like. So you have heard considerably about the areas of law. That's it. That's my box, right? Family law, landlord, tenant, small claims. That's my box. It does not matter if I know the answer to the question, the same way that those incredibly intelligent and seasoned clerks may know the answer to your legal question and they are not able to give you legal advice, is the same way that although I've been practicing for 11 years and so I have a wide breadth of knowledge for different types of cases, I am only going to give you legal advice on family law, landlord, tenant, and small claims. That's it. And so I encourage you that if you're a little bit hesitant of, does my case fit in this box? Ask the clerks, call, email, go in, third floor. Hey, look, this is the type of case. Give them a little bit of facts. And I'm like, oh, no. We can or cannot help you. We can't draft the documents for your case. Again, this is, again, you may be like, Jessica, are you serious? Yes, because again, people are nervous and people are not familiar with the law. This is a brand new experience for a lot of individuals. And so they think like, hey, I thought you could help me. Can't you just write the motion for me? I can't. But I will absolutely walk you through how you need to phrase it, what you should be focusing on, what exhibits or evidence the court may be looking for. I will absolutely do that for you, but I cannot draft the documents. In the same form, I can't email you the documents or forms. So a lot of times you've heard about the packets, you've heard of how to purchase them. Some of them are even on that Orange County website. Like if you were looking for like a small claims packet, you would just Google Orange County Clerk of Court, small claims, and you'll get the landing page and I have a little cute hyperlink for claim of, statement of claim. You can absolutely go into the courthouse and get those documents, but I, the self-help attorney volunteering, the other self-help attorneys, we cannot email you back and forth and send things to you. We're just not allowed. I've also been asked a lot about, can I record the session? No, you cannot record the session. As a reminder, I am still a Florida Bar licensed attorney all day long, every single day. And so what that means is what we talk about is privilege. It's protected. It's so that you're protected and you can feel forthcoming to me and that you're protected in what you say to me so that someone can't, invade that very important relationship of an attorney-client confidentiality within the breadth of that potential consult. So no, you can't record the sessions. I'm not able to speak with the opposing party on your behalf. This is another question that over 7 years I consistently will get. Can you just call them? Can you just right now, we have a whole hour. Could you just pick up the phone and set this? Can you set this hearing for me? Can you do this? We unfortunately cannot, but I like to end with the happy, not that I'm ending, but this particular slide. We can give you help with the legal procedures. I cannot tell you how many times people say, I got a notice of hearing. I have no idea what to expect. And it helps on all fronts. You're going to hear from one of our very seasoned good judges, Judge Pender Rodriguez. She's going to talk to you from the judicial perspective. But I will tell you that I have talked to plenty of judges, and I believe that the Self-Help Center does help the pro se parties to understand the process, which helps you, again, have good access to justice. If you say, well, I brought an email from my child's teacher, I don't understand why the judge wouldn't read it. Well, I can talk you through hearsay and explain why they couldn't, and that it wasn't that someone was against you. I can talk you through, well, this lawyer is asking me for my bank statements, my private tax returns. I don't have to give it to them. I can talk you through why you do and why that's normal discovery. Learning the legal procedures, again, is going to help reduce your anxiety. That is what those attorney consultations can help you with and what we're here for. Navigating the tips and pitfalls that some of the clients have experienced, try to book enough time. I am not naive to not realize that $1 a minute is, yes, an affordable option, but I do understand that even for some people, 15 minutes is all they can do. And I understand that. If you can book more time for a different day, for later on, please do. Running out of time is always devastating for us as the attorneys because we want to help you. We have so much knowledge to give, and it's sad when hey, look, the next person is here. We can't continue. As I mentioned, be sure that your area of law is one that we can help with. Make sure that you talk to the clerks, ask them specifically. Be sure to research some of the more basic inquiries first to save your consultation for more complex or specific issues. Again, similar to like, where is my hearing going to be? That's something on your notice of hearing that if you had access to the docket, you don't have to use money and time to figure out, can I file this case? I live in Florida. Am I allowed to file in Florida? Things like that. You can, get that type of information from other resources so that you don't have to use your attorney time for that. We can be a second set of eyes. I've had people ask me, hey, look, I have another attorney, but I want you to see what they drafted. Again, I think it is beneficial for the legal system in general. The Self-Help Center has been so impactful because I can look at you and say, your attorney did exactly what I would have done. You're being treated fine. You're being treated fairly. Or I can say, no, it shouldn't be 6 months between phone calls. Maybe you should, try to reach out again. I can do that because you have the right to that knowledge, and that's going to help you be a better pro se party and for your procedure to go better and to be a better outcome ultimately. Be sure to book soon after your hearing. If you have had a hearing and there was a ruling or an outcome that you didn't like, I can't tell you how many times people have come and sat down and they said, hey, look, I think this was a problem, or I believe there was some type of issue, and the timeline is gone. There's a lot of timelines in the legal field. So if you can, and you had a hearing on Monday, try to book your consultation for Tuesday so that we have the time to be able to help you and that there's actual accessible options. Lastly, my why. I am a very, very, I'm a very, very busy attorney, like all of us, right? I have 3 small children. I serve on a lot of boards. I have a very busy family law practice. And I do this and take my time. I'm here tonight to take my time because I care and because it matters. It matters to me when someone gets on and says, I haven't seen my child. What can I do? And I can say, oh, this is what you file. It gives my heart pitter patter when someone says, I just don't understand why, why I can be kicked out even though the premises are in disarray or they're uninhabitable, or why do I have to pay the rent? And I can talk to them about a notice to withhold rent. I can talk to them about small claims and feeling, someone who's maybe older and they feel that they've been taken advantage of by the contractor who didn't do a good job. And they say, you know what, I don't speak this language and I feel like they took advantage of me. My why is every time that someone says, what was your name? Jessica, you have helped me so much. Jessica, now I can go in front of the judge and I understand and I don't feel as scared. That is why I do this. It's hard sometimes for people to understand, at $300 an hour, why you may give up an 8-hour day. But it's important for our judicial system, for my community that I live and work in and raising my family in. It's important that we all have access to justice. And that's what Clerk Russell has given us with the Self-Help Center. Dan, that's the end of my presentation.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Great stuff, great information. And you can definitely see the passion that you have for serving at the Self-Help Center. So we've got some more questions in. You can clarify this one. If you can't afford an attorney, our virtual attorneys only give advice. They don't represent the case, correct?
Correct, but it's not about the affordability. We don't represent you either way. It's not about the, like they mentioned, it's not about an income-based situation. It's just, we don't represent, we're just giving the advice.
Exactly. Okay. And then one of the other questions was, are all the consultations virtual or any in person? I can tell you that they are all virtual at this time. I don't know anything else you can share on that, Jessica, but
No, they used to be in person, but ever since the pandemic.
yeah, but virtual is the way to go. And you can even book those from our website right online. But again, always good to check with our clerks on your case type and that sort of information as well. So some of the other questions, one of the questions I'm going to get back to was a follow-up question from one of our presenters earlier about child support. And it is that if the self-help center does not assist with child support only cases, can you specify where or who to go to complete child support only applications? And then again, our audience member who's with us asking this question said to specify on that question, she's seeking to submit, he or she is seeking to submit a child support only application with a child in common without marriage. So yeah, go ahead.
And that's just Department of Revenue, as she was mentioning. So their office is on Robinson. If you mean an application just to receive child support, no time sharing, no health insurance, no extracurriculars, holidays, things like that, then that's not going to be our normal petitions to determine paternity. That's going to be a Department of Revenue case, and you can go to Robinson. If you just Google Department of Revenue, Robinson Street, Orlando, you'll get the particular office. In Orange County, that's us. Every county has a different law firm that has the contract for the DOR. So if you're in like Seminole or Volusia, it's different. So you would need to Google for your particular county.
Yeah, and that office for DOR, Department of Revenue, is downtown as well on Robinson. So that's downtown Orlando as well. Any income qualifications for these services?
No.
Yep. No income qualifications whatsoever. That's why the self-help center here at the courthouse by the Orange County Clerk of Courts is first of its kind for our area. So we hope that you'll be able to use some of our services. Real quick, I just want to say anybody else who's joined us, welcome to our webinar. This is our legal forum with the Orange County Clerk of Courts. And this is on our self-help center tonight. It's recorded, and a reminder that you can submit questions as we have been taking some here in our Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. And we're answering these questions as we go along. And just a reminder again at the end, please take our survey. Okay, so real quickly, we want to share another testimonial with you. This is Jim and his experience with the Self-Help Center.
I went in totally not knowing anything and very scared and confused, and I walked out of there with actually a game plan. Honestly, the attorney appointment was the best money I've probably ever invested. He clarified that my child is 16, therefore she has a choice who she wants to live with, and this really helped me center my focus and say, okay, make life better for my daughter. You know, that's what it's about. I left that day like really happy, just saying, okay, this is a government agency service that is helping the community and help me understand what my rights are as a father, as an ex-husband. And I'd be the first to tell everybody, you need to utilize it. My name is Jim, and that's my journey to justice.
There you go. So that was Jim's story and why he used the Self-Help Center. So, in fact, you saw Jessica in that video that we took a couple years ago. So for our last presentation, now we're going to hear from the bench, a judicial perspective, and we are very appreciative to have the Honorable Judge Heather Pinder Rodriguez of the 9th Judicial Circuit, which is the circuit Orange County is in, and Judge Rodriguez is also giving her time to be here with us tonight. So she's now going to share a perspective from the bench. Thank you, Judge, for being here and joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm so delighted to see so many people engaged in learning about this incredible opportunity here in our community that's offered by our clerk, Tiffany Moore Russell, who I always have to share with people we went to law school with. So I've known she's brilliant for a while. There's something that Jessica talked about in her presentation, and I promise Jessica and I didn't coordinate this. I wanted to start off my time with you to let you know a little something about judges and lawyers that you may not be aware of. Judges and lawyers often are called to the profession because they want to help people. They want to help people in crisis. Oftentimes, if you're trying to explain to a child what a lawyer does or what a judge does, you have to explain it in very simple terms. And that is that lawyers and judges are people who want to help solve problems. That's really what we do. Problems are presented to lawyers, and lawyers take those problems to judges to try and solve them. Same with a pro se party or a person who's unrepresented. They come to the courthouse and a judge is there to try and help them solve their problems with the rules and laws that as a community we've all agreed to. One of the frustrating things for judges is we're not lawyers anymore. With my license from the Florida bar, I can be your lawyer like Jessica, or I can be your judge, but I can't be both. And so you might imagine that the lawyer in me, when I'm sitting on the bench, really wants to help you. I want to tell you the appropriate motion to file. I want to be able to tell you how to get your evidence in, how to make sure I can see that email communication or that photograph or that video, but I'm not allowed, because if I help you, then I'm not being fair to the other side. You know, a lot of times we see the scales of justice and they're even. And if I do anything to tip that scale, if I try to help the other side or I try to help you, then I'm not giving equal justice. I'm giving one side preferential treatment because I see them struggling and I want to help. And so I'm not allowed to do that. I can't give you legal advice, and I can't do anything to help you advocate in the courtroom for yourself. And so understand that I know our courtroom can be scary and intimidating because it's something different. And I know it can be really frustrating. But trust me, when I'm watching you struggle, I'm also frustrated because I can't help you. You know, I thought initially that the clerk's office asked me to be a part here today because I'm the administrative judge for family law judges here in the Ninth Judicial Circuit. But what a unique experience I have that they may have not realized is I started in family law in 2014. So if you've been keeping track of the timeline tonight, that was about a year and a half before our Clerk Russell started the Self-Help Center. So I know what it's like to live without the Self-Help Center. At that time, we didn't have that facility available. The court administration did have an office called Family Court Services, and we had folks that would check your paperwork and make sure that everything was filed, but they couldn't give you any legal advice. They didn't have the attorney situation, and they certainly didn't have as many people helping. And not everyone could figure out where their office was, and it became frustrating for folks. It was just, folks were left to fend for themselves for the most part. And then in September of 2015, Clerk Russell started the Self-Help Center. And as judges, we were able to tell people, hey, go to the Self-Help Center. Parties knew where they needed to go to be able to get their paperwork, to be able to file things. And really for me as a judge, it was a really wonderful opportunity for me to make sure that people could get the legal advice they needed at an affordable rate at $1 a minute. And it was a place I could send them for help, whereas before I didn't really have anywhere to send them. Well, I had another unique opportunity because in 2018, I moved to the other county in our circuit, which is Osceola County. The way we handle judicial circuits here in the state of Florida is there'll be one circuit, for example, the 9th Judicial Circuit that you're in right now, and they may have multiple counties within that circuit. So initially I was assigned to Osceola County to Orange County, and then I moved on in 2018 to Osceola County. Osceola County is a little smaller than Orange County, and they don't have the same resources of the self-help center. So I went from having the incredible luxury in Orange County of being able to send folks to the self-help center to going back to being in a situation where they didn't have a similar service. I will say that the clerk's office in Osceola County certainly went out of their way to do whatever they could to help people, but they couldn't give legal advice. They couldn't spend the same amount of time with folks, and it just wasn't the same level of service. So of course I was delighted when I came back to Orange County as part of a split division in 2019 and then a full division about a year later, where I could again, as a judge, reap the benefits of the self-help center and work with parties who had actually had the opportunity to get some real information and advice about their case. So what I was asked to talk to you about today is, what do I observe in the courtroom when I see someone who's gone to the self-help center? There are a couple things that I can see. First of all, it's really beneficial to listen to Jessica. It's really beneficial to go and see the attorney early in the case so that you can understand the big picture of the process. In family court particularly, we call them petitions. So you're filing a petition or you're starting an action. It's really just a fancy word for a lawsuit. And that's what a divorce is. And that's what a petition for establishment of support, independent of marriage or independent of paternity. That's what those are. Those are lawsuits. We just call them petitions or we call them actions. And the attorney can give you kind of the big picture of this is what's going to happen and give you a good assessment of the timeline and what it's going to take. For example, folks that don't go to the self-help center or don't talk to an attorney, they think that they're going to file their petition on Monday and they'll get a divorce by Friday. They don't understand that sometimes it takes up to a year or 18 months to finalize that process. They don't understand, as Jessica pointed out, that our family law judges have thousands of cases. As the administrative judge, I'm able to see that. I'm looking at a chart right now. We have one division that has 3,800 cases. And it's not the only case that has it's not the only division that has over 3,000 cases. All of our divisions have at least 2,000 or more. So there's a lot of demand on hearing time, and there's a lot of demand on a judge's time. So we can't process things as quickly as someone who doesn't have that type of information, that doesn't know about the process. We can't process it as quickly as you think. And so having that perspective keeps you from being frustrated, and it manages your expectation. I've also noticed that the forms are more complete. The motions are filed when folks use the self-help center and the attorney. They're more concise. As Jessica said, we don't need the whole backstory. We just need to know what the legal issue and factual issues are in front of us. And so those motions are better prepared. Those petitions are better prepared. The better prepared your paper document, which the judge will review before your hearing, the better prepared the judge is for your hearing and the smoother your hearing will run. Now, all of the forms that are offered by the clerk's office through the self-help center, those are also available on the Florida Supreme Court's website. They have a family form website. It's floridacourts.org. Just Google, Florida Supreme Court family law forms, and you'll find it. Those forms are free and you can print them for yourself. There are also instructions that are on all of those forms, just like on the forms you would get from the self-help center. The difference is in the self-help center, or really at any clerk's office, you purchase the entire packet, all 40 pages or so. You purchase the whole thing. If you go on the Florida Supreme Court website, you have to hope that you're reading the directions really carefully and that you're picking out the specific forms that you need, because you need more than one. And so being able to go to the self-help center and talk to the attorney, makes sure that you file all the forms that you need. There are also some forms that are specific for each circuit, and going through the self-help center will make sure that you file the forms that are specific for that circuit. So it's really helpful to be able to do that. When you talk to the attorney, not only are you going to have or you go through the self-help center, not only are you going to have a better prepared petition or a better prepared motion, you're also going to be better prepared for the hearing. You're going to understand the process. You're going to understand that when you come to a hearing, it may only be 15 or 30 minutes. It's not an all-day hearing. It's often a very short hearing because we have 3,000 cases, and we're trying to make sure that we give everyone the amount of time that they need, but not at the expense of other families that are in crisis. So we're trying to find that sweet spot of trying to get in as many cases as we can by making sure that everybody has an opportunity to be heard. So when you come in and you've had that counseling in advance, you know what you're asking for. You know exactly what you're asking the judge to do that day. And you also know from talking to Jessica or one of the other volunteer attorneys, you know what you need to prove to get that. It is so frustrating for folks when they come into court and they're asking for something, but they have no idea how to prove it. And I can't help them. So that means if they don't prove it, I have to deny it. So it's really good to know what you're asking for and what you need to prove in order to be able to get it. The other thing was touched on a little bit in some of the questions, and that is how to introduce your evidence and how to make sure that the judge has your evidence. Understand that emailing the evidence to anyone, emailing the evidence to the judge's judicial assistant or trying to put the evidence in the court file doesn't make it evidence. All you're doing is you're providing exhibits. In order for those exhibits, those documents, those photographs, whatever it is, in order for it to be considered by the judge, it has to come in as evidence, and you have to set a legal basis for that. That's difficult to do. I see attorneys struggle with that. If you meet with the attorney at the self-help center or you talk to the folks there, then you'll get a better idea on how to make sure that your document that you want to become evidence actually becomes evidence and something that the court can consider. You'll also be prepared to ask good questions to the judge. So what's an example between a good question and a bad question? I always get kind of nervous during a hearing when a pro se party says, "Judge, can I ask you a question?" And I have to give the answer that Jessica said all lawyers say, which is, it depends. If your question is asking for legal advice or how you can win a case or how you can get your document into evidence, I can't help you, because then I'm giving you more assistance than the other side. But if your question is about your case, or your question is about when will I get a ruling, or something that I can answer that's a scheduling issue, or something about your specific not legal advice, but something specific about your case that I might be able to address, those questions will be on point and they'll be targeted, and you'll make sure that you'll get a response and you won't get frustrated when I can't say, no, I can't answer that. So some of my frustrations as a judge is, I don't know how many times, I think Vanya could probably tell you because she sees them all, how many times I write in orders for folks to go to the self-help center. I see them frustrated in court. I see them not filing the right motions, and then I have to reject them. And I tell them, go to the self-help center, contact the attorney there, go through the website, and they don't do it. So all of you, I know I'm preaching to the choir because you're learning about the self-help center and you're understanding its benefits. But one of the frustrations we have as judges is we tell folks to go there and they don't. The other thing that I get frustrated with is that folks who don't go to the self-help center, become very frustrated and very angry during the hearing because they don't understand what's going on and they don't understand what they need to do to get the results they want. And they want to blame everyone in the courtroom. They want to blame the judge, they want to blame the clerk, they want to blame the other side. And it's not anyone else's fault, it's that they just don't know how to ask for what they need. And so by going to the self-help center, you can alleviate that issue. The other thing that I see a benefit of is folks who go to the self-help center, their cases don't linger. So some folks think that if you file a petition for paternity or you file a petition for dissolution of marriage, that that's it, and you don't need to do anything else, and it's going to magically appear on the judge's desk later that day, and the judge is going to sign it and approve everything. Or they're going to file a motion for child support, or in an eviction case, they're going to file a motion related to accessing the property or removing personal property or something like that. The judge isn't going to be able to rule on that right away. The judge is going to set a hearing on that, or sometimes the motions don't get to the judge for a variety of reasons, and the judge doesn't know it's there, and so the judge's office can't set a hearing on it. Folks who go to the self-help center know how to make sure that their case progresses. They know how to make sure that their case doesn't linger for 6 months. And it's really important to know that, because if your case lingers for a year, the court can set a hearing and dismiss it. That means you have to start all over again. That means you have to pay the filing fee again. That means you have to file all that paperwork again. So it's really important that you know how to ensure that your case moves forward through the court system, and the Clerk Self-Help Center can help you with that. They can also, Jessica and her team can also give you some advice on how to communicate. As I mentioned earlier, folks think that they can send an email to the judge. They think that some people think that they can call me and just talk to me on the phone. Again, I'm not allowed to have conversations with anyone about a case unless it's in the courtroom. If I do that, then I'm treating one side better than the other. Imagine how you would feel if the other side could just call me on the phone and tell me what's going on in the case and why you were wrong. You wouldn't like that. So I can't do that for you either. The Clerk Self-Help Center will teach you how to communicate with the court and make sure that your concerns are heard. They'll also talk to you about appropriate courtroom decorum or behavior, what to expect, understanding. I joke, I don't look like Judge Judy, and I certainly don't get paid as much as Judge Judy. And our court is frankly really boring. We're very deliberate, and we talk about serious things in a serious way. There's no arguing, there's no jumping up and down. And if you don't behave accordingly, then the deputies are going to remove you from the courtroom, and I'm going to make a decision without you because you chose by your behavior to be excused from the courtroom and excused from your hearing. Talking to the folks at the Self-Help Center will help you to expect what type of behavior you need to use in the courtroom, and understand that what you see on TV is not what happens in our courtrooms. And most of all, I think you'll find that the more informed you are, Jessica's right, the more informed you are, the less anxious you will be. And you'll be able to know what to expect. And when folks are less anxious, they're more confident. And it's easier for them to communicate with the court and to express their concerns and to have their matter heard. When folks are anxious and frustrated and trying to share everything and trying to solve all of their case in 15 minutes, it's not effective, and you're not going to get what you need, and you're going to walk away wondering, why did I waste my time today? So having that little preparation in advance will help you get the results that you need for your family and for yourself. And by using these amazing tools that are available to you, it will help you be more effective. I think that addresses everything you needed today. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this tonight.
Thank you very much, Judge. Great Great information, great details that I'm sure many people will be able to use if they're needing to come to court and how to address some of this. So we do have some other questions that have come in, and I want to encourage any and everybody on the panel to chime in and assist with answering these questions if possible. Now, first, I will say that several of the questions might really deal with specific case information. So let me ask these questions, and maybe Jessica, you could tell us whether or not this is something that would require an actual consultation to answer. So one of the questions is, I would like to know about credit. This seems to be about child support. I'd like to know about credit card debits and garnishing of my money if guy is providing assistance. That's the question. Is that something it would really take a consultation to dig into?
I think they should talk to the clerk first to see if they need a consultation. I'd hate for it to be more of like a bankruptcy issue, that they have a money judgment against them and that their wages are being garnished for that. And then there's nothing, that's not really small claims, it's not family law, it's not landlord tenant for me to be able to help them. But if they go and talk to Ms. Atkinson, then the clerks, they can give a little bit of background. And if it's bankruptcy, no. If it's, hey, your wages are being garnished from income withholding order, yes, we can talk to you about that.
Okay. Very good. And then another question kind of related to that is related to power of attorney. Does power of attorney end upon death?
And that's going to be in the world of, and this is back to what Judge Pena Rodriguez was saying, that people don't know that that's a different area. A lot of times people think anything that deals with family is family law. And I often have to tell them that that's not the same. So that's in that world of guardianship, probate, wills, trusts, and estates. That's definitely not us. But I always refer people to the Orange County Bar Association, that they have a referral program and they have a modest means program that is income-based. So then people can get their question there. So no, that's not something we can help with, but they can go to the Orange County Bar Association and they can then get the lawyer referral program.
Okay, very good. Next question. Hi, I need to file a claim to funds remaining after sale of property. Can I do that at the self-help center?
That's a Vanya question. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on how much it is. I mean, if it's less than $8,000, yes, you can file a case with us. If it's more, then you'd have to go to civil, room 350.
Okay, that helped answer that. Next question. If you need to visit the self-help center more than once about your case, can you speak with the same attorneys since they are already aware of your situation?
This is a sad no. And the reason no is that I am definitely not the judges. I don't have 1,000 cases, but I have 100 at my own little firm by myself. And I can barely remember those, much less trying to remember the thousands of people that come through the self-help center. We can't remember them all. We can't come back and we don't keep a file. Sometimes people say you're not taking any notes. But I'm not taking any notes. So no, we can't. In fact, that's not what it's for. And Ms. Vanya can tell you, we used to have this back when it first happened, when the first self-help center opened, people would be like, well, can't I just get the same person? No, but every single one of the attorneys is a Florida bar licensed attorney that the Orange County Bar Association has vetted and gone through. We all have a great breadth of knowledge to be able to help.
Gotcha. Very good. Yeah. And speaking of thousands of cases, I meant to say this earlier. Since the self-help center has been open, we have served more than 90,000. It's probably close to 100,000 now customers when we look at those numbers. So
it's a lot. It's a lot.
yes. Okay, so, and I think we're down to our last question, which is, can we post the website on the screen and explain how to book a virtual appointment? So yes, we are going to show you the website. My team here working behind the scenes is pulling that out, but yes, the website is myorangeclerk.com. And when you go there, you just look for Self-Help Center on the top of the web page. And when you go to that page, you can see where to book a virtual appointment. Basically, you click into make an appointment and it takes you through the steps. It's an application that allows you to pick and choose a date, a time, how long, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 or 60. And then you can, from there, make your appointment. And again, they are all virtual. So your appointment.
It is through Zoom. I just want to add that even though you scheduled an appointment and you paid your monies, and for whatever reason you want to cancel it, there's no refund when you cancel your appointment. So just be very mindful of that. Yeah, we will work with you as much as we can, but unfortunately, we can't, refund any of the ones that are canceled.
Gotcha. So before you book,
Make sure
you're set and ready, and you definitely know you want to move forward with that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ms. Sonia, can you also note for them about the interpreters?
Yes, there are interpreters, not interpreters. There are certain attorneys that do speak Spanish, but if the attorney cannot speak Spanish, you need to provide your own interpreter for the consultation. It just makes it a lot easier to have your own and your family member, whoever, so they can interpret what the attorney is saying. But as far as the attorney, they're not going to interpret it for you unless that person speaks Spanish.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, I don't see any further questions coming in, and we just so appreciate our presenters being here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. So again, this video is actually going to be posted immediately. It's right on Facebook Live right now on the Clerk of Courts Facebook page. So if you want to catch this video, share it, what have you, that's where it's going to be immediately. It will take some time to actually get the recorded video onto our website, but then eventually you'll be able to see it there. But if you really want to share that and get the video, watch the video, have access to it, Facebook is the immediate place to go. And actually, I see we have another question that has come in. Oh, yes. Is Spanish the only other language we provide? I don't know if we have other languages, attorneys that can interpret other languages other than Spanish. Vanya?
I believe someone can speak Creole. I might be mistaken, but I think I think it's Creole. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think there's another, but it depends on when that attorney is scheduled.
Yeah.
Do you know, Jessica, which other language it is?
I was trying to think just now of who the other OCBA attorneys are that volunteer, and I can't remember who it is that does. I do think you're correct that it's Creole, but I can't remember who it is, which is what's giving me the hiccup. But if they ask ahead of time,
Right.
I think it's the best way to just bring your interpreter,
Yeah.
just in case. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have done some consults on some Google Translate where they type in their little message and I type in my little message because I want them to still try to get the consult. But it is hard. So they should just plan to bring an interpreter. And if the attorney speaks that language, fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, hold on. All right. Another question. So slowly but surely, we're still getting a couple more questions. Are the notary fees a set price, or does it depend on what documents you're notarizing?
It's free.
All right, there you go. So notary services are free. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Judge Heather Pinto-Rodriguez, Jessica Thomas, Vanya Atkinson, and we just appreciate you all being here, providing this information. We do provide this as a service free to the community, and the Self-Help Center is here to assist you. The Orange County Clerk of Courts, Tiffany Moore Russell, understands the importance of these conversations in the community and why she opened the Self-Help Center to assist the community. We hope the topics discussed were helpful to you tonight, don't forget to please take our survey that's going to pop up soon as we end the session here. And if you can take that survey for us, it does help to give us feedback to plan for other topics for the future. And always make sure to follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn pages. We have all of that with the Orange County Clerk of Courts. And thank you for joining us. Thank you very much and have a great evening.